No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. And today we are here with Robin and her son from the McMillions documentary. This is crazy. I can't believe we're actually here. When I was watching that documentary, I did not think that there was a chance that I would actually be having you guys on the podcast.
I can't believe I'm here, man.
Really?
This is awesome. I feel like you jumped out of my phone. I watch your stories and stuff every day. It's so cool.
That's tight. That's like the best thing I could possibly hear. Okay, so I guess I would kind of like to start before the documentary even happened. Like, did you expect that this was going to happen, that at some point you were going to be able to tell your story and that the whole world would be paying attention?
I knew we were going to be indicted at some point.
Right.
But as far as telling the whole world, no, I didn't.
Right.
I just thought they would have saw me in handcuffs and heard it from John Ashcroft.
Right. And this was all the way back in 2001 when you got indicted.
Right, by John Ashcroft.
Right.
That's what I thought was going to be it.
Right, and it must have just been like a crazy thing to have something that happened 20 years ago, but then all of a sudden now the world knows your face.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
I didn't even think we were on the radar again.
Right.
So, yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, it's like, because the story, like I've read a few articles about the story over the years, but then to have it fully just put on display in such a high quality way for the world to see, I mean, it's got to be a weird thing. Like, were you dealing with people realizing that you were involved with this whole storyline for years prior to this? Like, obviously, this is it being blown open on a huge mainstream level, but I imagine that over the years, this has had to have affected your lives, or were you getting to the point where nobody was talking about it because it had been so long?
Well, we got to that point, but at the beginning, of course, I lost family members.
Could you just scoot away from the fence a little bit? Sorry about that. The fence is kind of loud.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Of course, at the beginning, I lost family members. Money's good. When money's not bad, everybody gets in trouble.
Right.
You lose family members. So, other than that, no, I did not expect this to come out again.
Right. What was the process of actually doing the documentary like? Was it just like a couple of long sit-down interviews?
No, actually, I was approached by Jeffrey Maish, and he hit me up on Messenger and asked me if I was the Robin Colombo married to Gennaro Colombo.
Right.
And, of course, I said yes. And then I get a call from David Clawins, a producer. And we talked for a while. And he says, would you like to do a movie? So I said, yeah.
So you didn't have any sort of qualms about being a part of it from the beginning. You were like, no, let's do it.
Yeah.
Because there's a few people involved in it that, particularly the other Jerry, who wanted nothing to do with it and weren't willing to have their face on camera at all, which after seeing how this has all gone down, you're like, oh, of course he would make that decision. That makes a lot of sense because now everybody involved in this is famous and he seems like somebody who doesn't want to be famous. When you look at it now, are you kind of like, damn, maybe I should have stayed in the shadows there?
No. He's, sure he's not cool that it all came out, but I knew he would stay in the shadows.
Right.
Yeah, he was that type of guy.
Right.
I mean, he was like a cloak and dagger kind of guy, okay, meet me over here and then not there, now pick me up over here and kind of thing.
But when you're a gangster, there's always a part of you that kind of wants everybody to know how clever you are and what this big scheme you thought up was, right?
No.
No? For some percentage of gangsters, there's a point where they want the world to know exactly what they've done to make all this money.
No? Not this, no. Because you don't want to lose it.
Right. But now that it's been gone for all these years and stuff,
it sucks.
Right. But do you think of yourself as sort of abiding by that kind of gangster mentality, or has that just sort of dissipated into the back of your mind over the years? Because there is this code of silence that would kind of prohibit you from doing a documentary if you were still actively about that life, right?
I thought that, but when the feds hit me with it, when I did that code of silence, I'll get back to you. That's not how it works.
Right.
No, not at all. They already know way more than you know, and so. Then when they were going to change my custody level and these guards go to take me away, I go, wait, what, wait, hey,
We get.
no, I need to go talk to these FBI.
We gotta just scoot you
Okay,
away from the
what's-
fence. Sorry, I don't know why we have this fence here. It's starting to seem like a crazy idea. No, it's good.
Okay.
Just yeah.
I mean, it's kind of iconic.
It is kind of iconic now,
fence?
right? The fence.
That
Yeah,
I'm in
we haven't had the
prison?
fence for a while.
Can't lose the fence, man.
I didn't think of it like that.
You know,
Yeah,
we didn't have the fence at camp, but
Right. Okay.
started off with one.
Right. But so you decide to do it. So your prior assumptions that you would never want to talk about criminal acts on camera, those just sort of went away pretty quickly once the feds started talking to you?
Oh, yeah, exactly. Once the feds started talking to me, I told them to give me their card, and I'd get back to them.
Uh-huh.
And so they went to leave, and all of a sudden, because I'm at work release, the lieutenant comes, says, "Come here, Colombo. We're shackling you, and you're going to prison under investigation." I said, wait, what? And he said, "Come here." I said, "Oh, no."
Right.
I ran to the door, and I kicked open the door, and I said, "Hey, you, come back here, come here." So they came back, and I said, "Okay, exactly what do you know?"
Right.
Just to kill some time, because I knew where they were going to take me.
Uh-huh.
So I killed about 10 hours with them.
So you didn't have anybody that you were worried about,
Getting busted?
killing you because you talked to them?
No, I was in the safest place you could be. Mm-hmm. I was in prison.
Right.
But it was already, you could tell, I didn't spill the beans.
Right.
I was indicted for it.
Uh-huh.
You know, if I had been the one that spilled the beans, then I would have been in the background. They
Right.
wouldn't have, I wouldn't even been talking.
Once they already know the whole
When they know,
scheme.
they know. Yeah, they had a poster of Uncle Jerry in the middle, and here I am connected to Uncle Jerry, you know, and then they had all these other little bubbles.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. Did you have any qualms about being involved with all this whole thing, or you think
Well,
anything bad could come from it?
I mean, I was really just a little kid at the time.
I
you
know. That's what's
I had
crazy. You're like an
no idea.
infant in the actual
Literally
show.
You know, I had no idea. I was kind of sheltered, a lot of my life, and I didn't understand why for a while. But then I did understand because now all this coming out.
Right.
So I see why they kind of kept me away from everybody.
It's weird because
It's weird, though.
it just seems like such a fun scam. It's not like, like everybody can see why it was so captivating. I was a kid doing my paper route and, stealing those. There was a lot of fraud going on in general, too, because me and my friends, we would do the paper route. We would steal the McDonald's things, and we would end up with a couple hundreds of those each. So I was like, there's fraud going on at all different levels of this scam. We were the paper boys, and we were cheating the system, too, I guess.
Oh, yeah, there's more frauds than you know.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
There's more that they don't even know
yeah.
about on the show.
Yeah. I used to smoke weed. The only reason I stopped,
currently smoke
mind you,
weed.
I currently smoke kush, yes.
the only reason I stopped smoking was because it was making me gain too much weight.
Really?
Yeah. And, obviously there's not a lot of height to me. So smoking weed and getting too fat kind of looks like take a garbage can lid and just crunch me down here. So
Right.
I had to choose my battles here. Do I get fat or smoke weed? Which one?
I'm not gonna lie. I have gone through long periods of time in my life where I ate like incredibly strict and worked out really hard, and weed was the only thing that kept me going. Like I'm not eating Oreos, but I am smoking a lot of weed.
That's my dilemma I'm on right now with soda. Do I drink soda or do I eat?
Right? Because it's like you need that one. You need one
Vice,
thing to sort of
that
align.
one thing that you want to keep.
Right. Caffeine does it for me too.
Yeah,
It's like it
that's
keeps
what
me
I'm talking
super
about.
wired all day.
Yeah.
I know it's not good for me, but at least it
Right.
keeps me not thinking about food as much.
Right, exactly.
For me,
Yeah.
it's dabs.
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 Ah, my kind of guy
I'm a
right
dab
here.
guy. Dude, my Xbox name is Dab and Dad.
Oh
I mean,
my
if
God.
that says anything. I love dabs and I love being a dad.
That's
I mean,
sick.
It's the best thing.
Wait, how old are you now?
I just turned 25.
Okay, and how
Yep.
many kids do you have?
Just one. She'll be 3 in a couple months.
Wow, my first one is being released
Few
in
months,
about
right?
6 weeks, I
Oh,
think.
6
yeah,
weeks.
yeah,
Wow,
it's
that's
coming
soon.
right up.
I knew it was coming, man. That's
She-
awesome.
She could
Congratulations.
blow it any minute. I appreciate it. Yeah. Any
it's
tips?
awesome to congratulate you in person.
Thank you. What do I need to know? Like, what's the biggest
For
change?
me, it just came day by day.
Yeah.
Really. And we read some of the books, like the What to Expect When Expecting and the basic stuff. But it just came day by day, and it just comes naturally.
Right.
I was super scared until that same day.
Really?
And then, like, she was born, and it just clicks.
Right.
It's awesome.
Because it's, you know, it's built
really cool.
into your fucking body. Like,
literally
this is
is.
what you're supposed to be doing with your life.
Literally is, bro.
All these video games,
No
all these smoking
worries.
dabs, it's fun, but it's like
Yeah.
you're not biologically designed to do that.
Right. Yeah, like I don't even drink. I don't do anything, bro. I just smoke dabs. That's it. But I love being a dad.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Respect.
awesome.
You have any qualms about your kids smoking so much weed? You know these dabs, they're crazy.
Yeah, well, I've never tried that.
You never did that?
No.
Okay. That might be for the best,
Yeah.
honestly.
But as far as weed, because it is coming more acceptable and it's helping so many people, like with cancer,
Right.
glaucoma, and he was going through depression, and
Yeah, it
it's
saved my life,
really,
for sure.
really helped him mentally, and so I'm glad that it's helping him like that, because I was going to psychiatrists for help.
Right. What a joke.
Okay.
Just smoke weed.
Yeah.
How dare you? Right.
You know, I mean, and they're always giving you a different cocktail. You never know what you're going to get.
Right.
You know, so that worked for him, and
Okay.
I'm glad.
Let me ask you this. What the first time that you appeared in the series, because it's, I think, episode 2 is when you first pop up. Mm-hmm. What was the next day on the internet like for you after that came out?
You know, I really don't.
Not a scroller?
No, not really. Actually, people were just calling me and saying, "No, did you see this? No, not that. Well, you need to watch this. You sure I need to see that?"
But there's like a point where it's got to go past like, oh.
Yeah, I seen some stuff.
But,
of course.
but there's a moment where it's like, oh, a bunch of my friends know about it. And then there's a moment where you realize, oh, no, everybody has seen
Know
this.
about it.
Everybody, like short of Tiger King, pretty much everybody has seen this. Yeah.
Yeah, it did get to that point.
Right.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, I would be at Lowe's, Walmart at the bank, whatever, and people come, there's her from McMillions. I'm like, really? God, I should have did my hair, you know, or
Right.
because they want a picture. And unless it was a person that, McMillions, you know.
Oh, you've had people be sort
You
of
know.
snooty to you.
Just one.
Really?
It was like, oh, no, you wouldn't have done it? Or you weren't asked.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Yeah.
You think it's the red hair? I feel like if your hair was black or something, that you
They
might be
might
able to.
have got along better with it.
Yeah, the red hair is like your signature thing now. It's like
Yeah.
you're a superhero.
Love it.
Red everything.
Red everything.
Yeah, that's
Like
my favorite
couch.
color.
You ever heard of the
Curtains.
Bloods?
I've heard of them, but I'm not with
Not
them.
interested in
She just
joining.
loves red.
Nah,
Well, they like red. That's what I'm saying. You know? Yeah.
no,
You ever heard of 6ix9ine?
no.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Bro.
That's probably
No.
good.
Dude, he's on benches everywhere. What?
Yeah.
This is my first time out here, so I've been in Missouri this past year.
Right.
Crazy. Small
Imagine
world.
you just live in a neighborhood and like all of a sudden the bus bench has this guy all over it, and you're just like, this is my neighborhood. I live here my whole life. Now you got this guy staring back at me every morning.
I saw a video of him. I think it was this morning, like handing out CDs.
Right.
Like it's just a stack of them, not even in CD cases.
Yeah.
Just on the
You,
corner.
you got to troll
People-
through the pain in this day and age.
People were even like,
you
I don't
know,
want it.
If it hurts, it don't matter. You still got to just troll. You got to
Yeah.
just try to fight through the pain. You know, that's what it is. These
Pretty
days.
crazy, bro.
I guess. Okay. So, but how has your life changed since the show came out? Though, like, do you feel awkward about going out in public in general?
No, not at all.
It's not that
Because
bad.
you know what? This is how I feel. There's maybe a minute people that hasn't actually broken the law. Some way or another, somebody's done something. They just haven't been caught, or they're lying. You know, I don't care what it is. It could be something minor, but they've broken the law somehow.
Right.
So,
Yeah, it didn't even cross my mind that you would feel bad about having been involved in that crime. Because I mean, at the end of the day,
I mean, yeah, I mean, who's
who would not do it? Come on.
exactly $1 million? Somebody's got to win it.
Especially when somebody is coming to you and they're saying they're not exactly like phrasing it in such a way that you realize how it's going to go down in the future. If somebody came to me and said they have this ticket, it's just not going to occur to me that this is going to come back to get me in the ass, or that the FBI is going to end up caring about it. It's like now when you watch the documentary, it's like, oh yeah, that shit was extremely illegal, and I can completely see why everybody got in trouble for it. But I mean,
After you've gotten so much money.
right, and in the moment though, it's just got to feel like, all right, I'm just hitting a lick. How could they ever prove this?
And you did,
Right,
still.
still.
I feel like the payments are so small that they have to make back.
They didn't, though. Well,
What do you mean?
You know, like at the end when they say,
they,
"Oh,
you
this
didn't
person
make,
had to
you
make."
couldn't make, I mean, for example, they expected me to pay almost $2 million back. I'm
Right.
like,
But it's like
I
$50 a
told-
month
I
for
said, Mark,
50 years.
Mark and Devereaux, the prosecutor, he and I got on first name basis.
Right.
I'm like, Mark, really? I can't pay you $2 million. You know I didn't get to. I know, Mrs. Colombo, that's not the way it works. I'm like, well, it's a good thing because I can't pay you $2 million.
But are you on the $50 a month type payment plan?
Until next year.
Next year?
Yeah.
How much have you paid?
None.
Wait, what? Explain.
Well,
You got to be paying them something, right? What if you don't pay them?
well, okay.
Not
This
a
is how that
dollar.
worked out.
You're making it seem like the FBI is a fucking joke, and that they just hand you like a joke payment form, like, yeah, you can pay us if you want, if not, whatever.
You're
So
still
many-
off at this
Yeah,
time. no
sorry.
matter what.
You're not going to jail. It's fine. Whatever.
Listen, so much happened between me and the FBI. And even the U.S. Marshals, we were like on first name basis because we became actually friends, believe it or not. I actually chased a federal agent and my prosecutor down a hall, screaming at them over my son.
Why? What did he try to do? to him?
What was that
I
over?
wasn't allowed to contact him. They were protecting him. Because they got this big case, so I wasn't allowed to contact him because
Right.
the Colombos had him, And anywho, the reason I didn't have to keep paying the $50 was I would have been on probation 3 months after getting out of federal prison, right? Because it was a paper crime. 3 years is what you get automatically when you come out. Well, I was in the halfway house, and I think the Super Bowl was in Jacksonville that year, in '05. And I was coming home from work, and this young girl decided they were having a party prior to me getting there. The guys, everybody, because the guys and the girls were all kind of together, and one common area. And she offered me a drink or something, and I'm like, I just said goodbye to my daughter's father. He was dying. And so I really wasn't in my right head. But anyway, long story short, I took a drink, and she gets up and does dancing and all kinds of crap. So they take us women and breathalyze us. Well, that popped up. So that's an automatic go back to jail.
Just from drinking.
Yeah, and not even much. But anywho, so I'm back in the room, and then she comes back. I said, that was messed up what you did. She goes, well, nobody had told you had to drink. I said, you're right there. You're right. I did that on my own. Well, because I'm not a really tall woman, and she took it upon herself to do this to me, and I just slung her across the room and started fighting her.
You assaulted your probation
She
officer?
assaulted, no,
but
one of the girls that was living there.
Oh, okay.
And she started the fight. And I didn't want to fight her. And I even pushed her. I said, you know what? You're not worth it. So I left her. And I went to the ladies' room, me and this other girl, and she came around the corner and jumped on my back. So I turned around and I just slung her on the floor again, and I just started beating her. And I had rings on, and of course, that made a mess.
Man, I would not want to get hit with those things.
And so they called the director of the halfway house, and he gets there and he calls me a bully. Said there was 4 women jumped on her and all this, and he found out it was me, and he says, get off my property in 30 minutes. You have to go home. So I went home, and I had to keep going to court before I knew it was inevitable that I was going back to prison. And then, of course, when the marshals see me, they're like, Colombo, what are you doing? We didn't think we'd see you. I'm like, well, hey, yeah, well, we heard you won. I'm like, yeah, did I really win? Did I? Well, that's how my $50 got cut off.
Really?
Yeah, because I had to go back, and that null and voided my probation. So
$2
there went
million
my-
restitution gone?
Well, I wouldn't say that. Now, if I ever come into that kind of money, they would get it.
So if you did hit the lottery tomorrow, they'd be coming for
They
it.
probably wouldn't believe it anyway. They would probably have it stopped and check everybody out.
Have you been able to profit off of this newfound notoriety in any significant way?
Well, I wrote a book. I've got a book out there.
It's already out.
It is.
Oh, shit. Okay.
I wrote it years ago, but I revamped it up to date.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and no, I really haven't made a whole lot of money off of it. I don't really want to get into that, the reasons why, but Who knows what'll happen?
Is it that you don't want to bring in money because you're just going to have to give it all away?
Nope, that's not it at all. No, not at all.
Just messed up people.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, there's a lot of people you can't trust out there, so
Oh, so you
in the business.
tried to work with people that didn't really work out with?
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah, so, yeah, that's all I'll say about that.
How do you feel about the way you were presented in the documentary, in the show?
You know what? It's actually, James and Brian did a phenomenal job. I think they were the directors.
They're awesome. They're
They
really cool guys.
really are awesome guys to work with. They really make you feel comfortable. There was just one episode that was not on the air that I literally wanted to jump on somebody, and I guess that's why it wasn't on the air.
Really?
And I couldn't get the mic off or anything, so
I was waiting for it, like at home watching it live, like waiting for it to happen, and it never happened.
And then you
I was like,
realized
oh.
it was cut? What
was cut,
What
yeah.
actually happened that they misrepresented you?
One of the girls sat on the front porch telling me, "Oh, I went to the IRS and told them I owed $50,000 because I felt that Jerry left me with nothing." And I'm like, "You made all kinds of money with Jerry. What's she talking about?
Right.
These liars. There's so many fakers, a lot of them, but not going to go into that either." So after I sat there and thought about it, gonna watch my language here. Just told me that she told the IRS about this thing. So she goes, "What was I supposed to do?" I said, "You get payment plan like I did on a $40,000 IRS. You make payments.
Right.
You don't bring down the whole house of cards. Not when you've profited from it for so many years. You're just pissed because he's gone and there
Right.
is no more." So.
Interesting. Yeah, because at the end, it sort of like revealed that the grandmother
My
was
grandma.
actually the
Yeah.
one who snitched.
I knew that.
So
I
you knew
she-
all along. You assumed, or
I knew.
or did the documentary basically like
No.
fill in? Was there anything that you learned from the documentary about this whole way this went down that was new to you?
that Frank Colombo, the youngest son, tried to act like he was such a good brother, and good person and all
Right.
this, when he was never even at our house, maybe 2 times.
Really?
The whole time we were together.
He's not associated with the family at all.
At all.
Really?
No.
Yeah, he just
No,
wanted
not
a
with any
piece
of
of
us.
fame.
Wow.
And he's just so full of crap. That's all I
Even
can't.
a part that really bothers me is when he says that he was the only one in the room when my dad passed away, which I wasn't there myself.
I was in the
you know,
hospital
so-
myself.
But she was there. My grandmother and my grandfather were there holding his hands, until
Yeah.
the last beep, and they tell me that and they cry about it, and I don't see why they would lie about that,
Right.
And he was there definitely, but he wasn't the only one there, and just little things like that,
And then
just
to
making himself
admit to
seem- I don't
people
know.
on the show that he broke into my house while I'm in the hospital
Right.
looking for money. That's my money. What the hell are you doing?
Right,
You're
they
going
try
to call
to-
me a thief over I couldn't watch all him because I can't stand to look at him.
Oh, really? It's like
yeah,
that. Oh.
yeah. So, but I was told he was calling me a thief and all that, and then I'm like, but didn't you say he broke into my house? Which I already knew he broke into my house looking for money and said he found tickets, which
Right.
he did not at all. Jerry had wrapped that.
I tried to talk to him recently, right before the show aired, and I was like, "Hey, just so you know, I know the show's coming out. Anything wrong with me, with you, it's not to do with the family. I still love you guys, blah blah blah." And then he just blocked me.
Blocked you?
Straight blocked.
Oh.
Whoa.
Yeah, dude. And he did help me out for a little bit, and I did live with him for a while when I was a teenager.
Uh-huh.
And then I think really it was smoking weed and stupid shit like that.
That pissed him off?
Yeah, and he wanted me to be a certain way, and I don't know. I think it really came down to more of the family stuff. We just couldn't get along, but I still had no problem. I was like, "Hey, just so you know, there's no beef with me," and he just blocked me.
Yeah,
so
Frank's
whatever.
got a
I really
great
don't
heart.
care. I
Right.
just whatever.
You guys are making me really thankful that my family is so boring in comparison and probably has been involved in almost no organized crime.
And the grass isn't always greener, I guess, type thing.
Yeah.
I wish it was boring.
Right. Oh man, that's crazy. Do you think that scene was real when they showed that his kid was actually working at
He
McDonald's?
does. I can confirm. I worked
Okay.
at that same McDonald's a few years back.
That's pretty hilarious.
Yeah,
I'm not
like-
gonna lie. I felt
yeah.
like it seemed kind of fake. Like, why is this kid walking in while they're filming?
No,
it seems
that's
a
their
little
real
too
son.
perfect.
That's their real
Okay.
son. That's their youngest son, Vintonio.
I've never even met him.
Vintonio
Yeah.
sounds like a made up name. Just
Right.
for the
I know. That's what we say.
That's because my husband always wanted a Vinny or a Antonio. After Francesco, of course.
But like, okay, let's torture this kid and give him the craziest combination
Down
name
south.
ever.
Him himself isn't really like Frank. I mean, now that he's older, maybe I haven't seen him in years, but he's a really smart kid. You know,
Right.
he's a cool kid. But they're different.
Yeah,
you know?
does growing up around all this stuff, because when you watch like crime movies, it's always like the kids want to get into what the parents were into or whatever. Is that had not had that effect on you, where you're not really interested in the legal side
I
of
mean,
life?
Godfather and stuff like that, definitely #1 movies. It just comes with it. I got Sicilian tattooed across my
Seen
arm.
that.
I just
That's it.
had to.
What's the other one
you know?
say?
Oh man, I don't really,
Oh, some old school graffiti type shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I just got it because I thought it'd be cool at the time.
What's it say?
It's
Flossing?
Finessing.
Ooh, finessing.
Dollar signs too. I know.
Shout
man,
out
a
Young
little
Scooter.
ridiculous,
Nice.
But oh, yeah.
Finesse. That's
But
dope.
hey, at the time, whatever.
No,
it's
I
cool.
feel
You know,
you.
I want more tattoos though. I actually told Defector over there that if I got a no jumper tattoo, if that'd be okay with you. Since I came on the show, I would definitely get one.
Let's go. I think it needs to be on the face though.
No, that's
The
a little
back,
intense.
the entire back.
Then it's going to be a World War III with Mr. Colombo.
Yeah,
You know,
hey.
they don't have tattoos.
They're
Or
not into
facial
that, right?
hair.
Yeah.
You know, they got their things there. You can kill people. You can do this, but you can't smoke. You can't have
It's
a tattoo.
crazy, bro.
Yeah.
They're big on respect, though. You know, it's one thing. They did raise me a
Loyalty
little
and
different,
respect,
but they raised me big on
don't
respect.
have a tattoo. And no. The reason I bring up smoke because I used to smoke cigarettes,
Yeah.
and it was funny because we was at the house, and his dad was yelling at him, and my husband in Italian, and then I was oblivious to it, and Jerry goes, "Let's go, Rob," and I'm like, "What the hell?" He goes, "My father smelled smoke on you, so he doesn't want you around here right now." I'm like, "What? What are you talking about?" I said, "Oh, I can smoke cigarettes, but I mean, you can kill people. I can't smoke."
Right.
And then we just laughed, or he laughed.
Right. Yeah, it's a double standard, but I mean,
I
just-
mean-
that's the way that world is, though, huh?
Yeah,
So different.
You know, yeah, I was brought up military. My dad was intelligence in the military, and that's what hurt the world. Seeing him on TV got to me the most because I would have never went to my father to have a ticket ever in life to break the law.
Right.
He was an upstanding man's man, intelligence, like I said, in the military. And when he called me when I lived in South Carolina and said, "I want the big one," I didn't say a word. I just said, okay. I didn't want to put him through that because I knew it must have taken a lot to even ask me.
Right.
So I just said, okay. So I went to Jerry and I said, "Give my dad my ticket." He goes, "What the hell are you talking about?
Right.
That's your ticket." And I'm like, "I don't care. I'm going to give it to my daddy. You must need it, you know, whatever." He goes, "You idiot." You know, we went through all of that. And anyway, I gave it to my dad. But then when I saw him on the documentary,
That's when it
hurt.
actually hurt. Like, shit, I kind of dragged you into this in a way that I didn't have to.
well, I don't feel like I dragged him, but I just wish I would have. But how long you tell your dad no to $1 million? I
Right.
mean, it just hurt.
$1 million sounds pretty tempting. You know,
It's
especially
very
when
tempting
you
when
think
you-
about where
nobody's
the average
getting hurt.
person's out
Oh,
in
yeah.
life, it's
Yeah.
like that $1 million is like,
Yeah.
it'll make them do things that they would absolutely never even think about doing otherwise.
Yeah,
sure.
especially when it's just a little peel ticket away, you know?
Yeah. It's not like you gotta go.
I used to see them. Jerry's like, "Here, come look at this."
I think it's pretty ridiculous how my dad's on the commercials, like the actual McDonald's commercials.
That almost cost his life.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wait, he almost lost his
He's-
life due to that? What do you mean?
Well, because he shouldn't have been on that commercial. Meeting, you know, the guy with the tickets, and then here he is on a commercial of it.
Right. Yeah, it's got to be.
But he
tricky.
had somebody over, and it all panned out.
I bet in his mindset though, he's like, I'm a winner. What?
That's
I
how
won.
that's how
I
he
got
felt.
it.
That's how
Yeah,
he
I bet.
felt. He wanted.
That's what I would say.
He was a ham. He was a
Yeah.
ham.
Like if you found $1 million in the in a box on the ground.
I'm sorry, I would take it.
Hell yeah, I'm taking it. And I'm not going to act like it's a big deal. I'm not going to act like I did anything wrong. I'm just
Who,
going to...
who does this belong to?
Yeah. Oh, hell no. You hear about that sometimes?
Look,
People...
he's got a wallet with loaded full of money in Walmart,
I was very
right?
little, for the record.
Me, him, and my mother-in-law, right? And she's like going through this thing now. Oh, we got to teach him the right thing. I'm like, now? Really?
Right.
He's got a wallet full of money, Mom. And I'm like, yeah, and I'm feeling like this. And he ran before we could do anything about it and gave it to this guy that you knew it wasn't his money.
What?
Yes.
You gave it to the wrong guy?
Yes.
Were you like 5 or
I just
something?
ran
No,
up
he
to
was
some
7
random
or
dude.
8.
Okay.
I was like, hey, here, this is your wallet, right?
And we
He's
knew
like, oh,
it wasn't
yeah,
his
of course.
money. It wasn't even his money.
Right.
At least I should have got it. Or me and Ma, you tripped. You know, it doesn't matter.
Could have got like a Happy Meal out of it or something. I didn't
No,
know.
you got a little more than a Happy Meal.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you would have got a Happy Meal.
That's what I'm saying.
You get a Happy Meal, we'll take the rest of it. Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, I've definitely been in that position where you like find $50 on the ground and it's like the best day of your life.
What do
You
you
know,
do?
you might have made a lot more than that doing something else that day.
Yeah,
but
but you know,
something
yeah,
about finding it on the ground or
know.
stealing it that just
Damn,
feels
hey.
good, you know?
it's a rush.
You steal a candy bar from 7-Eleven, I guarantee you it's going to make more good chemicals flood into your brain than if you
Yeah.
go buy the candy bar and eat it.
I know. Unfortunately,
It's weird how that works.
I know that.
You know it for a fact.
Yeah. I told you we had the great. Well, I didn't tell you.
What, the M&M?
Yeah, see,
you
I
gonna
used
talk
to
about the
smoke
M&M?
weed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when he was little.
Right.
But I couldn't smoke it till after I put him to bed because I'm not one of those weed smokers that can go on about their day.
Really?
When I smoke weed, I need to be, okay, ready. Give me my comedy movie, whatever I'm going.
Comedy movie?
I have to have comedy.
Really?
Down with what I'm going to laugh with. I don't need any distractions. And let's go. He's in bed. And so anyway, I would always try to fall asleep before the munchies came on. But then I would wake up in the middle of the night and I would hit his treat drawer. It was Reese's and Reese's cups.
You're so high you hit the kid's treat drawer.
Yes.
Raid the
Yes.
Halloween
So wrong,
stash.
bro.
No,
So
it was
wrong.
his own treat
I
drawer.
respect it. I'll do that to my kid. I'm gonna buy you more tomorrow. Don't worry.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
horrible. When he asked for a treat. It
Yeah,
was
you gotta
horrible.
say the whole thing too.
I
Like
will.
I'd wake up and,
Well,
Mommy treats.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Jerry, he goes, you know, you sound like a freaking rat down there opening little papers, you know. And then I fell asleep one night in his armpit and chocolate. He's like, what the, Robin, what the hell? There's chocolate everywhere. I'm like, oh.
You got chocolate in his
His
armpit?
armpit.
That's how aggressively you were eating the candy?
Yes.
That sounds almost
I know,
impossible. That's
I
incredible.
I know. Wait, there's more. Then there was bubble gum. Then we had to shave his armpits. What kind of gangster am I going to have hair under, not have hair under my armpits? You know.
Right.
Anywho, so he takes me downstairs. He goes, "Okay, look." Opens the freezer. He says, "Did you see this in the freezer?" And it was a gray M&M wrapped in foil. He says, "Do not freaking eat this."
Right.
And I'm like, "Why?" He goes, "It's $50,000 freaking dollars."
Right, because that was a promotion they used to do, right?
Yeah.
The gray M&M.
Yeah, we had it.
How'd he get the gray M&M as well?
The same way he got the McDonald's tickets.
What?
Had he lived, this would still be going on, trust me. Because as we know, they wanted him, so the story got told.
Right.
But had he lived, the story would still be going on, and I would soon be winning clearinghouse.
Wow. So
yeah.
you'd still be hitting licks off of this shit.
I'm sorry, but
I respect it, man. That's how it is.
I mean,
I just still don't understand
it's
how
not
you
like
got
I'm going up and saying, "Hey, give me that ticket right
Like,
now."
what did they keep the prizes from McDonald's at the same place that they keep the M&M prizes, or
No,
It's kinda
no,
confusing to me.
no. Mm-mm.
And how does
No.
someone not like make a fake gray M&M? I feel like I could make a fake gray
You would
M&M.
think.
Right, I thought the same
Yeah.
thing.
You know, it doesn't seem
Maybe
that.
it has some kind of glow underneath a light or something.
Right.
But did he know that?
I'm sure he knew everything, you know.
Right.
There had to have
You're
been
right,
other
you're right.
things.
Because
yeah.
your dad was your dad. He could always think of anything, you know, kind of, how to make money. And had he could have cloned that, he would have. Trust me, we would have had gray M&Ms everywhere.
But like, you're supposed to want to be your dad, right?
I know.
But
And
is there
listen,
a big part of you doesn't really care about being a criminal mastermind?
Well, of course it's in there.
Yeah,
It's a little bit of it in the
There's-
back.
it's
Yeah.
in there.
He's had his.
And I've had my little
moments.
I have a background, you know, but I don't really talk about it anymore because from like 18 to 21, I just turned my brain off. Didn't really care. I didn't have anything to really go for, so I didn't care. And I was in and out of jail and stuff like that.
Really?
But I'm not even like a felon. I just like a bunch of stupid stuff. But then like I had a kid and it was great.
Really?
Like,
That changed
just
everything?
Literally like night and day. Like just like it comes to you overnight, bro. It literally changed me overnight.
Right.
But even like the pregnancy, I would say changed me. Like going to the doctor visits and stuff like that. Like it's cool.
Right.
You know, hearing the heartbeat, picking out the names, decorating the nursery. It's awesome.
Just
you
like
know?
having something that's
Just
a bit more important that you have
She's
to.
awesome. too.
Instantly, everything
Right.
else didn't matter. Like at all.
That makes
So,
sense.
It's cool.
Yeah.
She even does. My husband and I, when I was pregnant with him, I used to wear this onesie, pajamas, and I look like a little bear, you know, because you're pregnant. So he says, "God, you look like you're doing a little dancing bear thing, you know." And I'm like, okay. His daughter does this thing. She goes, "I'm doing the dancing bear," you know. And I'm like, where the hell did you get that, you know? But she is so freaking adorable. She's beautiful, funny. It's like she's got his personality.
She's all
Without
over my
the cri-
Instagram. Name's
Yeah,
Lila.
without the
criminality.
yeah, because she can't
She's
stand
awesome.
anything to go. Like me, I used to tell Jerry, I said, "Please don't ever tell me you hurt anybody, please."
Right.
You know.
So you knew, you just didn't
I
really
didn't
want to know?
No, because I really expected, like he was doing. They have an underground key club in Hilton Head.
Mm-hmm.
That was all politicians and actors, which I won't name names
Right.
because these were, you know, well, they're good actors, and they also stayed at the Taj Mahal. They had their own suites and stuff, and it was bedding, and he had me snowed on a lot of stuff. But anyway, when I told him, "Please don't ever tell me you hurt somebody," he was like, "Robin, what do you think I do? You think I just go around here whacking people?"
Right.
And I'm like, "Well, I don't know." He goes, "Robin, if people gets involved," he goes, "it's not like I could just go whack them." He goes, "You know, we talk to them." I'm like, "You talk to them,
Right. I mean, that's what I would say if I was like a assassin who wanted to
Assassin? He
convince.
wasn't an
No,
assassin.
but I'm saying like if I wanted to convince you that like, yeah, you know, like these things happen, but like it's not like it happens all the time. We're gonna talk to him first. You know, it's like I could just imagine sort of padding there's just saying like, yes, this guy died, and then there's like adding all these extra layers of fluff to
huh?"
it.
Oh, I didn't realize he might have died. He
I don't
told me
know.
he
I
didn't.
mean, you tell me. I don't know how many
he
people
told
were
me
killed.
he didn't.
Oh,
He-
okay.
He said he just took him for a drive.
I'm
in
just
the car.
assuming he's lying, though, right?
I don't know at this point. I thought him, you know, fuzzy bunnies came up. So.
Oh, speaking of Fuzzy Bunny, can I show you something from the Fuzzy Bunny?
Of course,
Cool.
yeah,
I
yeah.
brought it along.
Ooh, exciting.
Yeah.
It's,
Since he was little when we
Got a
found
couple
it.
things. So I got this one thing. This is actually had in my wallet. You can tell because it's old. Before McMillions was a thing.
Uh-huh.
I always kept it in my wallet because I thought it'd be funny if I ever got pulled over. I might have a chance if I had a get out of jail free card to give it to him and be like, dude, you
Holy
get like
shit, and this
you
is
got
from the
no, that's
this
not
is
from
in
the
the
show.
show.
I've just had that like forever.
Oh, nice.
Gave
And
him a
I was
chance
like,
for
you know what?
Community
McDonald's.
chest.
Maybe
yeah.
he would laugh and let me go.
Right.
But these are from my dad. I have a VIP Fuzzy Bunny card. This is like I guess what he
Wow.
got with his signature, and this was his.
The Low Country's
see.
largest adult entertainment complex, Fuzzy Bunnies VIP Gold, 1995. Damn. Ask manager about the gold card monthly special. This card remains the property of Fuzzy Bunnies and can be revoked.
I wonder what you have to do to get it revoked.
Exactly. Oh, wow. And
Hell.
this is his card, too?
Yeah, man.
Wow. From the Trop Poker Club. He was a poker player?
Yeah.
Damn.
I
we
know
got
you
a
play
lot in common.
online
yeah.
a lot, right?
Oh, I'll play in
Yeah.
real life, too. That'd be
Oh,
fucking
cool.
great. Yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
Damn,
he was
that's
good.
so
He was
sick.
actually good at it too.
Really?
Look, we would be when I went. I didn't go all the time because Frankie was so little. But when I did go, I would be like on roulette because you got odd, even, you know, black and red, 50-50 chance.
Right.
Here he'd put $100 on one number, and here I'm putting $5 on red, and then turn around and did I win? He'd say, "You did not. Turn around." He goes, "You got $5 on there."
Right.
You know. Yeah, you won. Oh yeah, I got $10. Got 100 and something in my pocket, but I'm happy with that $10.
Oh, yeah. It'll go a long way when you win it, yeah. Yeah, let me ask you this. Do you feel like you can now sort of identify something about yourself personality-wise where you were attracted to this lifestyle at a young age that now as an older person, you can look back at it and say like, fuck, like that was kind of crazy that I was behaving in such a way.
Well, it's funny because I was dating a retired federal agent at the time when I met Jerry.
Right.
And comparing the two, I went for Jerry.
Right.
Yeah, he was pretty boring.
Right.
Real boring.
You wanted some excitement.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
You know, I was young. Then I got a little more than I chewed off. A few flags went up, but I stayed.
Right.
Wait, maybe it's not so bad.
But once you get in, it's hard to get out.
Well, I could have. No, I could never. But
You could leave.
when you're born into that family, you can retire, like my father-in-law.
Right.
But if you join, you can never get out.
Right. Because they're never going to trust you.
Yeah,
You got to
exactly.
go. Maybe if
Yeah.
you moved to Mexico, you could like sort of fade into, they're not going to care anymore at some point.
I don't know.
Maybe
Depends
not.
on what they've done and didn't know. You
Right.
know, if it's still going on or whatever. You know,
Right.
a
Definitely.
lot of people think it's nothing wrong. You know, that it's gone, but
It's not gone.
as long as there's money to be made on illegal things.
But
it's
how
good.
alive is this like culture still? Like people always kind of say like, oh, there is no mafia anymore. Or there is still, or like just because it's kind of weird. Like I watched a lot of The Sopranos lately. We've been rewatching the whole
That's
thing.
Jerry. Yeah, Tony Soprano was Jerry.
Okay. Because it's kind of weird to watch it and be like, man, from my perspective, it's kind of hard to imagine a world in which like 45-year-old Italian dudes are the ones doing all the cool crimes.
But they are.
Maybe not in
Because-
Southern California.
Do you know
but
why? Do you know why?
maybe,
though?
I don't know.
No, because the younger guys do not. They have to learn that loyalty
Right.
and how to keep that mouth shut. Because young guys, getting into that, they want to brag. Hey, I just made this lick, you know, and tell
Right.
that friend.
Some even
That
older
comes
guys
with
don't know that.
wisdom, you know, with that.
Right.
That's why it was so long for them to, you know, get in.
I just don't know if there's really like
Infiltrate.
an Italian mafia out here in LA. Like it feels like if somebody's
think so.
if somebody's getting beat up for mowing the wrong lawn in
No,
LA, it's
nothing like
probably
that.
something.
Yeah, just a kid or something.
So I
don't
really
know.
wasn't raised like in that lifestyle, you know. Like I said, I was
Right.
kind of sheltered, but I did go to Sicily. Totally different lifestyle there.
Really?
Like guys in suits on the corner, like
Oh, it's
straight
still
strapped.
big.
that culture
like,
is still
just-
super alive
oh,
there. Yeah.
Crazy. So different.
Yeah.
There's even a lady that comes down from the mountain and brings like bread and eggs from the village, and like it's awesome though. It's so
Wow.
cool. Yeah.
That's pretty dope.
I've got Mr. Colombo's story. He's finally told it.
My grandfather, he's got some stories.
That
Really?
he's
coming
letting
from
us-
Sicily. And we've got to wait till February. But
Why February? Because of the documentary?
No, because of the person that I trusted with my book. They trusted, and the contract's going to run out in February.
Oh, okay.
So then, but that's a heck of a story.
Lots of stories.
He's never told that to anybody.
Really?
He was always a real quiet guy.
And he's happy to tell the story. It's not like one of these things where you're
No.
never supposed to talk about it, or
No, because most of them are dead,
right?
and Sicily.
Man, his lifestyle started when he was 5,
Uh-huh.
like
Yeah.
on the beach in Sicily, like 1940s, just getting chased like
Yeah.
crazy, like by his dad.
Yeah,
and
buys.
just insane stuff.
Do you relate to Carmela?
No, because I didn't have that kind of camaraderie with women.
What do you mean though? Like she had a bunch of other
Friends
women
that-
in
yeah,
the family
it.
that she was
Yeah,
cool
that's
with.
not true. I mean, it could be true.
They
up
don't want the
there.
women associating with each other
No.
all that much.
Matter of fact, that was one of my big beefs with Jerry. I'm like, I don't have any friends, you know, because I
Right.
didn't want to bring my friends from Jacksonville up there into that and then freak out. And the cul-de-sac I lived in was a very nice place where we lived, and these were not my type of women. You know, you had the commander's wife, and you know they did ornament parties and cookies, baking things, and I
Right.
couldn't bake. So finally, I said, I'm going to go buy the cookies, you know. I went to the mall, bought the cookies, and everybody's going around the table, tasting the cookies. And they're like, Mrs. Colombo, how did you get so many chocolate chips in your cookies? I'm like, I went to the mall and bought them. They're like, oh my God, Oh, God, she went to the mall. She went to the mall. Did you hear that?
They couldn't believe it.
No.
Really?
I had to get out of there.
That's
but
wild.
then there was a lady from India, from Queens. She goes, "Oh, I like you. I know you. I know you."
Because she was allowed to go to the store?
No, because she was from Queens and she'd heard of my name, and so she was
okay.
could relate with me. And she's like, "I like you." She goes, "I don't like you doing that." I said, "I don't either. Let's go."
Wow.
Yeah, they were
Interesting.
just so pretentious, you know.
I mean, if you want to control somebody, you just keep them locked away from other people that are going to like help them see what reality is, right?
Yeah, well, I started seeing a shrink, and I thought that was my thing. Okay, I can start talking to him. You know, now I can just talk. Until one day, I came out of the bathroom, I looked down the hall, and my husband's having this deep conversation with the doctor like this, and I know that look, and I know that stance. And it's just like, I went nuts. I just ran down the hall and I jumped on him like a gremlin.
So the shrink was was basically
They
a
were
setup
talking.
by your husband to
Yes.
be able to get all the information? Oh.
No, well, kind of, and keep me. Anytime I was like, "You're so divorced, you're this, that, whatever," they would appease me, you know, with, does she want a horse? Give her a car, give her a car, give her 15 grand, give her this,
Right.
get her friends here, whatever, you know, fly her here. And, you know, it sounds like, you little spoiled brat, that didn't happen for, you know, that didn't make you happy. Well, sometimes it did,
Yeah.
but sometimes it didn't, because in the end of the day, you're still alone,
Yeah.
you know. And anyway, so I thought that doctor was me and him, you know, I could just talk to him.
Right.
And in reality, he was just writing a prescription. So when I realized that that was really his thing, I ran down the hallway and I leaped on him like a gremlin, you know, because he was a big guy. And I'm choking him. He stands up. I'm still on him. I'm dangling from the floor. And here's the doctor going, "Robin, let go of Jerry." Okay, this is fine. Go ahead and leave Jerry, you know. I sat on the couch and basically I had nothing else to say to him.
Wow.
I mean, what else?
You must have really felt you couldn't trust anybody, though. huh?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Fuck. It's like some Truman Show shit where everybody's just sort of working behind the scenes against you, huh?
Well, it was.
Fuck. That's scary.
It was.
Did you ever feel like they were going to kill you because you
No.
knew too much?
No.
Never felt like it was that crazy?
No, they were pretty big on not hurting women, children.
Really?
Yeah. Not like the Russian. I mean, you know, others.
I've heard that, but then I've also heard about a lot of girls getting killed because they knew too much.
Well, you know what? It depends on what they did. Well, you know, I did punch them in the face at the club, but
No, it ain't that bad,
yeah,
right?
exactly. That's what I thought.
That's lovers' quarrel shit,
That's what
right?
I thought too. They're probably all saying, that's just Jerry's wife. He'll take care of her.
Right.
You know, it just depends on. I don't know. I don't know what they. I didn't think I'd ever really cross the line, except for maybe that would have been my big thing. Is running in there threatening them
Right.
and punching them.
I mean, I feel like if my girlfriend punched me in the face, we could get over it pretty quick.
Yeah.
She's a
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah.
It's not gonna hurt. It's not, she's gonna break
Yeah.
my jaw. If she breaks my jaw, it's a little awkward.
Yeah,
but,
I
you
didn't
know.
break his jaw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it comes with having a kid. I'm just saying. Just putting that out there.
Yeah, and I forgot I even had him in the car still.
I could probably think of shit that I've done that I would understand if my girl wanted to punch me in the face. You know?
Yeah, that was one of them.
Right.
Yeah.
My girl threw a Henny bottle at my head.
Oh, wow. It's
Not
intense.
really. She threw it at the ground. But I've accused her of like, you threw that Henny bottle at me. She's like, I did not. I threw it at the ground.
Oh, another thing that comes with having a kid is getting kicked in the face at night by your kid.
While you're sleeping, they'll
Yes.
just decide to do that.
Oh yeah, all night, bro. Like they could be, cause she like has her own room and everything, you know,
Right.
but always ends up in our bed. And even if she's like way at the bottom of the bed or wherever, she'll always end up way at the top on the pillow, like feet to the face all night, just boom, boom, boom.
Wow.
Yeah, it happens. So get ready for that.
I'm
Maybe sleep
scared.
with some like pads.
Right.
It's at that
helmet, like
point.
a
Yeah.
sparring match.
Maybe.
Yeah, well, my guy Josh over here, he
Yeah.
told me that a big part of it is they will just punch you in the balls.
Yeah,
Because
yes.
they don't
Yeah, I
know
understand,
that
bro. I
hurts
do.
yet. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's something I'm kind of scared
Everything,
of.
especially if you get a big reaction, because then they laugh and that's it from there. Yeah. So if that happens, just hold it in the best you can, and it won't happen again. Hopefully.
Really?
Make a
Hopefully.
pallet
I still can't
next
even
to the
promise.
bed.
Don't let them. Don't let them.
I've tried that too, and she's
fucking
still
sweat.
she's up there.
Yeah, she's on you.
She's up there. It's like
Yeah.
magnets.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's terrifying. Okay, so how are you planning on like really making something out of this? Like in terms of monetizing this, turning it into something? Like, are you considering doing YouTube, vlogging? You know, start your own podcast?
have.
What's the idea?
I've really seriously thought about it,
Right.
but
You should help.
I don't
her
know
do
if
it.
I'd get the audience for it. You know, I think we could do something together, or if I could do it, I don't know. Is there really audience? You think?
I mean, I feel
for
like
me?
the McMillions thing was so big that if you could find an interesting way to like provide more
I
information,
love
then
people.
maybe
Like I'm a
would-
people person,
Right.
you know, and I'd love to just talk to people all day. That'd be so cool.
Yeah.
You
So-
know the way you just said that it was so
What?
big. I don't. I guess I didn't watch enough.
And I've lived in
On-
Missouri the past year, just because it's cheaper to live there. So no one's seen it out there. So no one knows me out there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for real.
What,
like
they
a
all
few
got
people.
Hulu?
I got recognized at Walmart a couple times, but
Really?
like a guy hooked me up with a cool phone. He was like, "You're the guy from HBO, right?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, you work at this phone place? Like, let's talk for a minute."
Yeah, and
It
people
was
love
cool, though.
him. You
Yeah.
know,
But,
because he was a poor kid. You know that had to grow up in it.
I mean, people are fascinated by the women. They're fascinated by the kids. Anybody who's sort of wrapped up in the shit without necessarily having a good reason that they had to be.
Well, you know what? When you just said it was so big, I really didn't realize it was so big.
Right.
I honestly did not watch it on YouTube and
Oh, okay.
social media.
Because I mean,
I stay away from that stuff.
I feel like every single person who works here immediately knew what I was talking about when I said Robin
Really?
Colombo. They're like,
Really?
her?
Oh, really?
So, I mean, I
That's
feel like
cool.
it's a thing.
Oh,
That's awesome.
I guess we'll find out, though.
we'll see where it goes.
We'll see how far this podcast goes.
Actually, you know,
To the top, like every one of them.
because in the book that I wrote, it's not just about mob stuff. It's about a lot of stuff that I, as a woman, have actually been through. Devastating stuff that I'm surprised I'm still here. So,
Defector.
Defector and I and this other gentleman have been kicking around a nonprofit organization for women and children and different things that maybe some good can come out of it.
That's awesome.
Because I've always said, I mean, there's so much that I've been through that there's no way you can have a nonprofit for all of it. There's just too much. I mean, because there's some people that probably couldn't have walked 2 miles in my shoes. It's not just about that I won that. Well, actually, I didn't even get the ticket. I gave my ticket away.
Right.
But I went to prison for it.
I really
you know?
want to like
Go ahead.
point out one specific person too, like from Instagram actually. She reached out to me and was like, "Hey, I'm a young mom. My husband just passed away a couple months ago from a car accident. My son is 2 years old. I just watched your show. Like, I really relate to you." She was like, "I'm in a dark place. Like, will you just talk to me?" And I literally talked to her on Instagram for a couple days, and like I felt like she related to my mom a lot. Like in that time, you know, I called my mom and asked her for advice and was like talking back and forth
Yeah.
for them, and it was really cool.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like I actually felt like I love helping people, man.
Yeah,
like if
me
I can do
too.
that, that's awesome.
That
I've
is a.
I've
you know,
had a lot of women
talk to
hug
anybody.
me and review. Thank you for sharing your story because there's nothing I left out, not a thing. I bared it all, and I put it out there. And so a lot of people, women mainly, thank you so much. I can't believe, you know, because I've been there, not maybe everything, but I've been there. So it helps women when they think that they're the only one that's been through certain ordeals. Because I've been kidnapped.
In this whole mafia type
Yeah,
thing?
yeah.
By enemies or by
By
people on
some
your own side?
goons on the same side.
Oh, boy.
Tell 'em
and
the
they
story
were
about-
so stupid.
You know, the one we talked about with when you got kidnapped with me.
Yeah, you were with
When-
me. He was
yeah.
with me. I was being covered under a pillow.
That's
of course,
kind of talked
screaming.
about in McMillions. They talk, but they don't get really get into detail.
He was standing by the bed, and I was screaming with a pillow over my face. And they were threatening me because, of course, they wanted the mother to me be with my son, but they were just going to keep me somewhere and feed me enough to keep me alive, and just say I went off and did drugs. So that would have been, you know, nobody would have been looking for me. I was just off doing drugs. And So, I'm looking around like my surroundings. I'm like, did these idiots really just leave this door open? So I grabbed my son and I just ran for the door. And it's not funny then, but it's funny now. And that's one thing. You've got to have a sense of humor to get through life. You really do.
100%.
Because most of the crap that I've been through, I laugh about now. And I've made some kind of joke out of it. But I literally picked up my son and I just ran for the door. And then I could hear the goons behind me. And I looked in a room, because there was a room open, and this maid was doing the bed, right? And I go, call 911. And must have saw the guys after me. She goes, Lordy Jesus, And so here I go running. I get to my Explorer. I didn't have my keys.
You didn't have the keys, right?
Were you carrying me, or was I like running?
Carrying you.
Kinda,
You were
I don't
little.
remember.
I was
like
carrying you.
Ish.
But thank God she got to the police in time for the police to show up, because I didn't have my keys,
Wow.
but I did escape.
And if you hadn't, things might have been pretty bad.
Way different.
God damn.
Yeah.
You definitely got a story to tell.
Yeah.
If that got left on the cutting room floor of that documentary, then that's...
Oh, there's a lot. There's so much.
Damn.
McMillions is just a piece of me.
Just scratching the surface.
I feel like I got into detail about a lot of things too, but they also did a really good job of portraying
did.
the good out of me, like just the positive
Yeah,
stuff,
they
and
did.
which is what I'm really about, just positivity and things
Yeah.
like that. So it's cool. They did a great job with that,
They are,
Yeah,
but there was a lot cut out.
because it wasn't about.
But there's so much too to the story. Like I see some comments are like, "Oh, I don't think it needed to be that long," but like it could have been longer.
Yeah. The 6 parts, like as I kept getting deeper and deeper into it, like the moment when you first come on camera, it suddenly starts to make sense. Like, oh, okay, this is why we need a whole bunch of episodes, because there's a shitload of interesting characters involved in this,
It's a lot, man.
Yeah. Fuck.
Pretty much. I say the
Okay,
same
now I
thing.
can say anything.
Oh, yeah, you
You
can
just
say
said
fuck.
that. I
It's
can
cool,
say
yeah.
Just say it a couple times to get it out. Fuck.
No,
Fuckity
that
fuck.
used to be my favorite word, actually.
Not anymore?
Nah,
Okay.
I'm trying to stop cussing, but
That's okay.
got the vape pen. Quit smoking.
I know. I'm so proud of her. Look at that.
No more
she used to
smoking,
smoke
just vaping?
cigarettes like crazy.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
because I was nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah. I say this as someone who just smokes a cigarette, but it's a disgusting habit, yeah.
Well,
what it is.
yeah, people smell it on you now, and nowadays it's not socially acceptable.
It is. When you see somebody bust out a big ass cigarette, it does kind of stand out a lot. Like, oh, what does this guy think he's a cowboy or something? Like, what the hell is that thing? Like, it just seems
Well,
like so much.
In my 20s, I was dating Alan Collins of Skinner, right? And so clubs we went into, and I bartended, and we just partied, and you smoking cigarettes everywhere, in the clubs, everything. So
Right.
it wasn't taboo. Now, if you even smoke one outside of a club, which I don't really go clubbing, but a restaurant, for example, people just
Yeah, you look like a piece of shit. Yeah.
God, I can't believe you. That
When you
disgusting
watch old
thing.
movies and you see people smoking in restaurants,
They make it look nice.
but
in
it
a
is weird.
restaurant.
Like, immediately just stands out to you. Like, you're blowing fucking smoke in someone's
Oh,
face
that,
while
yeah.
they're trying to eat a steak.
What
What are
a-
you, insane?
What about a hospital?
Oh, the hospital.
Right.
That's so crazy.
They used to smoke in hospitals.
Yeah.
I bet they had vending machines with cigarettes in the hospital.
Probably.
Definitely. They had those everywhere.
Oh,
Remember
yeah.
that? Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're a kid,
I don't remember that,
so it
but-
just looks like a game to you, and you're
Right.
kind of looking at it like, wow, Newport. I wonder what those are like. I remember that as a kid for sure. Yeah. Marlboro. No. Yeah. Definitely. It's crazy. I remember like the Denny's where I grew up was half smoking, half not smoking. But what is the divide? It's like there's
Right.
no divide. It's just
Right.
like.
Oh yeah, the non-smoking. and
Yeah,
smoking
there's one lady sitting here and one lady sitting here, and she's smoking a whole pack, and she's not, and somehow she's supposed to be safe from that. Like, it makes no sense.
Right.
Logic.
Kind of crazy to think about. Anyway, you guys want to smoke some cigarettes? Let's go.
I don't
Appreciate
think any cool story starts like that.
No,
This
no,
one
they
time
all
I
do.
I smoked a cigarette.
Yeah, one day we were just kicking it, smoking cigarettes.
cigarette.
That's the whole story.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. We just smoked
hanging out,
cigarette.
blowing cigs, loud cigs, and drinking White Claws also. I appreciate you guys coming on. Anything you guys want to promote or let us know coming out?
Well, other than the non-profit organization that we're going to get kicked off here soon.
Do you have any personal questions? Like, kind of music we listen to, what kind of movies. I don't know.
I don't think he gives a shit.
Yeah.
No, probably not.
What kind of music you listen to?
I don't know, dude.
I still listen to Skinner's though.
Still.
Oh yeah. Tell him
Respect.
about Skinner.
Actually,
She dated.
I told him.
Oh, okay.
He missed it.
Oh.
Damn. Anyway.
She mentioned it real quick.
Yeah,
but-
but you know, actually though.
My nephew is like raps a little bit. He's pretty big in Jacksonville.
Oh
Slug
yeah,
a T.
my grandson.
Slug a T.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's big in Duval.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I like the sounds
He's
of
real
it.
good.
I gotta
Pretty
check
cool,
him
man.
out.
Yeah.
That's fire.
The song
Well,
Cuckoo
he's locked
is my
up right
favorite. It sounds
now.
cool.
Really?
Yeah, because him and you know, they go after each other with words on their music.
He's in jail because of a rap beef?
Yeah.
Literally, dude, because of music videos, like showing guns in the music video. So they're like, oh,
You
Oh,
might
yeah,
have had him
something
on
like that.
here.
no, he
I
didn't have
I
Slug a T
probably
on
remember,
here.
but yeah.
No, it's like not
No,
Tyler.
he didn't have Tyler on here.
Not Tyler.
Well, I'm gonna look into this now.
yeah, it's pretty
Any
crazy.
song that is intense enough that someone could go to jail for it,
No.
realistically, sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah.
No, the other.
Oh, what? They had
people.
Instagram videos threatening each other or something?
Yeah, and then somebody in one of these cities, I don't know where it was in the U.S., they did a whole thing on Duval with these, because these were kids that played Warner's Pop football together.
Right.
And now they're rappers rapping against each other, you know?
Yeah.
And the gang squad coming to your house looking for your grandson over a video.
Right.
I'm like, what?
That is crazy. They go straight from football to like
And I'm like, why
online
can't you
gang
get
banging
this,
like it's the same
why
thing.
can't you go get this gang that's coming back at them? They said, well, because they keep moving state to state and we can't catch them.
Really?
But I said, well, he can't because he's got an ankle monitor on, so he can't.
They should move to LA because all these rappers are screaming at each other online in LA,
Well,
and the
Duval-
cops are basically like, if there's not a dead body, we're not showing up at this
Yeah,
point in
yeah,
LA. It's pretty
yeah.
crazy,
Well, Duval's just feeling it.
right? They got nothing else to do.
No, they don't.
You go to Florida and it's like, oh shit, everybody
Florida's
getting arrested
crazy.
out
And
here.
it's
Yeah,
like-
because there's no
They
real
say
crime.
you
Yeah.
come on vacation and leave on probation.
or it's the waiting room for God or go to heaven.
Oh
or something,
yeah, 'cause a lot of old people.
I've gotten harassed riding bikes in Florida and just been like the cops being super aggressive and
Oh,
angry,
yeah.
and I'm just looking at them like,
They
Yeah.
are.
bro,
I know,
like, are
dude.
you serious? Like, I wish you understood how the cops act in LA because it's not like this when it comes to riding bikes. Because
Bro.
in LA, there's so much more real shit to
I
deal with.
literally have a possession of weed charge for a little blunt roach and like a tiny nug,
Oh,
barely.
my God.
Like, and that's actually messed me up from jobs and stuff. What the Like, yeah. Can I shout out my
crazy.
Instagram?
Sure, of course, yeah.
Francesco_G_Colombo. Just Francesco.
And he's
Gennaro
out here repping
Colombo.
the McMillions
I'm out here.
franchise.
Yes.
He's
I was-
letting you
Yeah.
know.
It's cool. You should check it out for sure.
Yeah, Mark Wahlberg was the executive producer on McMillions. And I believe Ben Affleck's getting ready to do a movie, McScam.
Him and
So
Matt
it's
Damon.
going to keep going.
Wow, that's
Hopefully.
interesting.
I'd like to,
No,
man.
yeah, they've pretty much confirmed.
Every good story now has so many different ways it can be translated. It could
Yeah.
be a documentary series. It could be a movie. It could be a Snapchat documentary. Who knows?
Right.
There's a lot to it to make it a good movie, too.
Hmm.
Because there's been not really a whole lot of good stuff out there, but
If you see your husband being played as Brad Pitt, your ex-husband, how's that gonna feel?
I don't think that would even.
It's not right.
Yeah, I
He's
don't
not the
even
Brad
think
Pitt in the group.
I thought it was even wild seeing whoever
Yeah.
that little kid was, you know, in McMillions. It played me like in the back seat, you know, crying and stuff,
Right,
and like
yeah,
running
yeah.
out of the
I didn't
store
even
with a
see
purse.
that.
Yeah, there's a little kid that played me.
The,
So
like, B-roll
shout out
clips,
little
yeah.
kid Frankie, whoever that is.
Shout out to him.
Yeah,
Hmm.
he's gonna be a big actor one day.
I watched it. It was just hard to watch me. I could, you know.
A little too real?
Yeah. and I
Honestly,
just-
yeah. Can I talk about that for a second?
Sure.
That's the one thing about the show that really broke me down. Because I didn't really. I didn't have a warning about the accident. You know, being in the show. I didn't know they really reenacted the accident like that. And
Right.
that's something I've never really seen like that. So it kind of hurt to watch. But
To see this like
To see it.
visual reproduction
it
of
was
what really happened.
really
Damn.
intense. They did a great job. You know, it was really dramatic in the way they left it hanging.
Right.
But
Now,
man,
they did
it was
call me
intense.
that afternoon to inform me.
Yeah, we
to
talked
let
a little
me
bit
know
about
that
it before.
Mrs. Colombo was going to be the one that
They called
their
us right
son was going to throw under the bus.
Uh-huh.
But I told
He
him
had no right to do that.
No,
by
what
the
son
way.
does
He
that?
trespassed them from his
anyway,
house.
Anyway,
Okay.
I told them, look, I fought with them already 20 years ago over this. I knew they did it. So I'm not going to back up. We're family again. We love each other. I'm not going to go back and let's fight again, you know? And they said, good. We just wanted to make sure you knew what you were about to see. So kudos to them for even doing that, you know? I could have just not seen. They were good about that. But I guess not maybe the accident. I didn't see that either. There was parts I couldn't watch just because it was just too, I couldn't stand to watch Frank and Heather. They just
For a second, I thought that Frank was the one you were coming with. And then
Both of them.
And then I realized it was him, and I'm like, oh, okay.
yeah. Oh no, that's why we call him Francesco now.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I used to just go by Frankie and like Frank, but now I
Those are
don't anymore
confusing
because
now.
now it gets confusing. But I like Francesco.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cool name.
Well, flair.
Yeah,
Some people don't like to say it
Gennaro.
though, and I'm like, sorry, too bad.
Too many syllables.
I guess so.
Francesco Gennaro Colombo.
It's cool.
That is a pretty name.
Thank you. I'm honestly, man, I just want you to know I really am happy to be here. It's
Oh,
cool.
yeah,
I
yeah.
watch your show a lot, so
I appreciate it.
You're
Yeah.
way cool, yeah.
Thank you so
You
much.
are.
Hey, if you are looking for some gangsters out here, I got a couple of them in the other room. I can introduce you to some of my friends. I don't know. I appreciate you guys coming on.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
inviting us.
Yeah, thank you so much. No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. Check us out
Number
on
one.
YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes. Like, comment, subscribe. NoJumper.com if you want support. Appreciate y'all.
Peace.
Thank you guys.
of course, man. Thank you.
Another classic interview in the books. If you guys enjoyed this, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and head on over to NoJumper.com to support. Appreciate y'all.